Good evening, everyone. I am excited about tonight's presentation. Not only are the Y Hats about to implement another project that is going to actually employ not just the National Guard, but the military under a program known as um, it's called Quick Reactive Solution. Now, this ties into another leaked document that I will be sharing with you guys tonight regarding the releasing of the medbeds we've all been waiting for. Okay, so there's a new document that is indicating that we might have those rolled out by January of 2026, which is just around the corner. For those that don't know me, my name is Ismael Perez, and I am the author of those two amazing books right behind me, The Secret Government, Invisible Architects, and of course, Our Cosmic Origin, both which are restoring information that has been suppressed for a very, very long time. Now, in addition to that, I also want to give a recent leaked document that was actually extracted from the darknet coming from NASA regarding 3i Atlas, which many of you guys are going to love. This confirms and validates a lot of the stuff that I've been sharing in the last few weeks regarding 3i Atlas, as well as anomalous reports of objects all around the coastlines that have been recently not only been reported by our military and scientists, but as a result of that, it seems like the community of scientists can no longer contain the truth of what's really happening. So, yeah, we're going to go into all of this information today, guys. Thank you so much for being here. Now, for those that were forced to get the, you know what I mean, the Jabba back in 2020, early 2020, if you know what I mean, there is this product called Folium that is designed to not only eliminate all of the graphene that was forced into people, right, trying to disconnect people from the God source, but also all of the nanoparticulates that they're spraying us with, the stuff that we eat in foods, the parasites that require a heavy concentration of metals in your body in order to exist, the radiation that we're constantly being bombarded by all these towers, RF frequencies from the cell phones, you name it, all designed to eliminate all of that so that your body's natural healing process takes effect. Now, disclaimer, I'm not a doctor, but I've been using this product for quite some time, and the longer you use it, the better the results. And the demand for this product is high right now. And right now there is a special for Immuno. So the special for Immuno is if you buy two Immuno, you get the third one free. But all three work better combined. And of course, the link is always in the description. I want to extend gratitude to everyone. Also, Starcadian for being here. If he's here, I think he's here. So I want to extend gratitude to everyone that is on here. Thank you guys so much for being here. And also for those that watch it on the replay. And I do want to also extend gratitude for all the birthday wishes. I did have an opportunity, guys, to read the comments in the last 2 days for my live on Saturday during my birthday. And yeah, thank you guys. I appreciate all the happy birthdays. My birthday was an amazing day because I had an opportunity to spend it here with you guys in the evening. So that was awesome. Thank you guys so much. Also, today is the 3rd of October, no, November. I actually got a clock here, guys, to tell me exactly what day it is because I'm always forgetting what day it is, what day of the week, what time it is. You know why? Because I'm not even operating in the 3D anymore. So according to this little device, right, for those that live in the 3D, it is November 3rd, 2025, my friends. And yes, we are still on a positive timeline trajectory. And by the way, this is a gift from Valentina Sunshine, who is one of my favorite galactic Jedis and definitely my favorite student. Big shout out to Valentina Sunshine out there. Thank you so much. All right, so let's get right into it, guys. Let's get right into it. I realized that when I scheduled this, it said that I was going to go live at 7, but for whatever reason, the YouTube channel was not allowing me to put 6 o'clock because I normally go live at 6 o'clock Pacific time, which is 9 Eastern. So I just fixed it about 3 hours prior, and that explains why a lot of people aren't on here yet because they think I'm going live in an hour. But it's okay; they could always catch it on the replay. All right, so let's start with what's happening right now regarding the quick reaction forces. This is coming from a recent Pentagon directive that actually was dated back to October 8th, and it was signed by Mayor General Ronald Burkett. Orders, which is by orders, the creation of a quick reaction force. He is a white hat within the National Guard units regarding the employment of not just the National Guard, but the military across the different states. Now, I don't know if you guys remember, but about a month and a half ago, during the meeting that took place in Quantico, Virginia, Trump did mention that he would like to use our military, not just the National Guard, to clean up the criminal networks in all 50 states. So all of a sudden now, this is expanding to all 50 states, not just to those 19 cities, right? So the District of Columbia and the U.S. territories have all jumped on board on this, which is a good thing. These units are to be trained in riot control tactics because of the fact that Antifa is still trying to do, their thing, right? They're trying to wreak havoc and resist. So these units are being trained in riot controlled tactics, equipped with batons, shields, tasers, and even pepper spray, according to this document. And in order for them to be ready for potential deployment in civil unrest situations. Now, while framed as a move to enhance national readiness and public safety, which is what's really happening, okay, the sweeping scale and political backdrop of this order is actually something that the deep state is strongly trying to oppose. And this actually, my friends, ties in to the government shutdown. And there was more information regarding the government shutdown in response to this that was actually done by the deep state. So, one second here. All right, where was I? Here I am. Okay, so according to White Hat insiders, they are doing this in order to emphasize more lawfulness across the country, especially in those areas that was heavily influenced and controlled by the deep state, in order to allow for more transparency of what's really going on, and of course, the protection of the American people. So this development is actually something that is going to take a few months, but it is already in the works, which is a very, very good thing. And so the directive requires that each state is to train about 500 National Guard troops, a total of 23,500 personnel nationwide, to be fully operational by the 1st of January of 2026. So again, for those that are just tuning in, this is extending to all 50 states now. Military trainers will be dispatched to every jurisdiction, and each will receive about 100 sets of riot control gear. Simultaneously, a permanent military police unit is being established within DC National Guard with a 50-person full-time element ready to go within the 90 days. So this national militarized infrastructure has been justified by the Trump administration. We're talking about the good Trump here, the one who is the real CIC of the Republic, as part of a larger campaign to combat violent crime and restore, of course, public order. So the legal foundation for the Quick Reactive Force, the QRF abbreviation, order is linked to an August executive order that implicitly authorized the National Guard deployments to only about 19 U.S. cities, if you guys recall, beginning with Washington, D.C. Well, now it is going to expand to all 50 states. So, according to the White Hat insiders who are concerned with preserving, of course, the Republic, transparency, and the responsible use of military force, this directive crosses a critical threshold. Okay, and again, a lot of this ties into the idea that the far left, or those that are part of the deep state, were really the ones who shut down the government. Okay, it wasn't the white hats. Okay, now the white hats are using that for their own advantage now. Let me continue here. So the deploying of military trained troops to crowd control blurs the fine line between law enforcement and, of course, military operations. Um, and, proponents are arguing that the Guard deployment in cities like Memphis and Washington, D.C., have actually led to drops in crime rates. So we are already seeing a huge drop in the crime rate, okay, activities due to what's been happening in Memphis and, of course, in Washington, D.C. 2 months ago. However, this ignores broader social, economic, and community-driven solutions for public safety because of the fact that Antifa is still a factor. So, as Trump said a couple months back, that Antifa is an internal domestic terrorist network. And this is the reason why they must extend this operation to all 50 states. So, the approach that the White Hats are taking right now, guys, is to seek more sustainable community-based strategies that will address the root causes of unrest and, of course, the deployment of military power as a way to finally eliminate all the criminal networks. Furthermore, the training troops in riot control areas will be given every resource that they need in order to execute a proper elimination of all the domesticated, it's not just Antifa, there's other groups as well that were financed by Soros, domesticated terrorist networks that are in turn connected, of course, to the criminal network. So, under the leadership of Donald J. Trump, the real Donald J. Trump, a covert yet lawful operation was set into motion 3 days ago, one that would actually deploy what is known again as the Quick Reaction Force, short for QRF, which is which is sending military units across all 50 states. All right, and this operation is going to take more than just a few months. Okay, this is going to go well into 2026, according to the report. So, for decades, of course, we've all known within military intelligence, right, and the Patriots as well, that are part of the Republican military intelligence, those that serve the constitutions. And we've watched that a shadow government has always tightened its control on all American institutions, right? Corrupt politicians, media manipulators, and financial elites, forming a vast network of influence and exploitations that are in turn tied into the criminal network. So, when Trump entered office, of course, he became the civil face of a much larger vision, and that is to return power to the people and dismantle the criminal infrastructure that had infiltrated every level of government. Okay, so the Quick Reaction Force was the operational spear point of that mission. And unlike traditional military deployments, this was a hybrid operation, part intelligence, part law enforcement, and part strategic takedown of a system that apparently had been buried into the heart of our nation. So its goal is simply to arrest, expose, this is where it's coming as far as the public exposure, right? And neutralize all elements of the deep state network that are threatening our constitutional sovereignty. According to this document, the deployment across the 50 states, each state, from the urban corridor of New York to the deserts of Arizona, is going to become a theater of quiet activity. The National Guard units, the military intelligence teams, and select federal agents worked under sealed directives and are going to continue working under sealed directives, identifying corrupt judges. So this is not just about taking out the drug cartel and the criminal network, all right? It's about taking out the people that they've been working for. the people in power also, trafficking networks, not just the corrupt judges, and of course the covert financial operations that have been tied to the globalist interest groups. Well, the QRF, which stands for Quick Reactive Force, its mission is to ensure that no corner of the nation is left untouched. And this is not a war against the people, it is a war for the people. Operations were and will continue to be coordinated in order to avoid public panic while ensuring that key figures are taken into custody or at least placed under surveillance until there is an open public military tribunal, which is where all this is heading. So the military tribunals, the authorized that are authorized under the emergency powers, would ensure that justice could actually proceed without interference from compromised courts. So going back to how this ties into how the deep state is the reason why there's been a government shutdown. It's been, I think, over a month now. Okay. Well, the White Hat's approach was actually grounded in constitutional law, and it has been, okay, not rebellion. So their view, according to this report, is to defend the republic, of course, because they were sworn in order to protect it against all enemies, including domestic ones, right? Not just foreign ones. So by invoking these dormant executive powers, the Trump administration, according to this perspective, is aiming to establish constitutional justice outside of the reach of globalist influence. So this is not merely a military operation, my friends. This is a spiritual and moral cleansing that is going to take place. And again, this is going to go into 2026. Okay. This is a declaration that the American government will no longer be ruled by secrecy, extortion, and of course, moral decay. Well, for those that are within this program, this project, which is the Quick Reactive Force, every mission was and will continue to be carried out under the banner of faith, oath to preserve the Constitution, and duty to the American people. Now, a lot of this is happening because we are in a positive timeline trajectory where we are going to be seeing a full dismantling of the deep state, okay? As these operations continue to expand, now they're going into the 50 states, this dark, untouchable network that has been running the show for quite some time will begin to fracture, okay? So, financial pipelines will apparently dry up, covert programs are going to be dismantled, and the public will begin awakening to the truth that has long been hidden in plain sight. The deep state had thrived on a vast criminal network for quite some time, right? So this quick reactive force is going to bring everything into the light. So to the White Hats, this is not vengeance. It is a restoration, project. That's the best way to describe it. And so their aim is to return America to its founding principles as established by the founding fathers. All right, which is what? Freedom, transparency, and justice. So they envision a future where the American government serve the people and not the other way around, okay? Not where it's powerful interest groups controlling the people from behind the scenes. They don't want that anymore. So the quick reaction force is standing right now, guys, as a symbol of hope in the face of corruption. And it's also representing a new kind of warfare, one that is waged not with bombs or missiles, but with truth, accountability, and unwavering resolve. The White Hat's mission continues in the hearts of the millions who believe that America's best days are not behind her, but just beginning, right? We're going to be witnessing the golden age of America, which in turn will influence the rest of the world to become a golden age. So this message is very, very simple, guys, yet it is also very timeless, okay? Evil only wins when good men do nothing. Just remember that, guys. And I think that was, I think it was JFK Sr., okay, who said that. So the time for silence is over. Now, in addition to the quick reaction force, President Trump also signed a secret military order called the Quantum Restorative Health Systems Directive, and that's abbreviated QRHS, Quantum Restorative Health Systems Directive. And this was signed exactly 48 hours ago. Well, this basically kicks off a huge healing movement using high-tech devices like medbeds and, of course, something that the NECES brain recalibration protocols. And I think I mentioned that a few months ago, but a new report recently surfaced due to this new secret military order that was signed by Trump 48 hours ago. So what does this mean, guys? Well, as you guys know, the healing modalities, the different types of medbeds, have been concealed in secrecy for over 60 to 70 years. Okay, and we all know that. And they are super advanced healing pods that do exist and are just that have just kind of been waiting for them to be released. Okay, now the NECES, which stands for, or it's called NECES, NECES, is a brain upgrade system that helps your body work with the medbeds. And I think I've already mentioned how for people that have suffered a lot of trauma or are still kind of not in the right mental frequency, they're going to have to undergo an adjustment in order for the medbeds to actually work on them. Okay, so this isn't just science fiction, guys. This is real, and the military has been protecting this rollout for quite some time. So this is the start of a major shift in how people get better. Okay, I better be careful now. And here's the big thing, guys. The power to heal is no longer controlled by big elites or corporations. All right, and that's just the truth of the matter. What Trump just set in motion in the last 48 hours, he actually approved three massive things. Okay, when he signed this executive military order, he approved for 100 medbed centers to be released across the entire U.S. and more coming to Europe and South America. So yes, it is going to extend to the other nations. He also approved for the NECES, which is fixing people's frequency in order for the medbeds to work on them. He also approved for those protocols to be in full force when the medbeds roll out. And that's going to help heal a lot of the homeless, a lot of the trauma or people that are still suffering from trauma, so that the medbeds could work on them. Okay, and this thing called NECES is actually going to help people's brain connect to the medbed in a safe manner, so that it could work on them. So he also signed for the releasing of over 60 healing tech patents, not just regular medbeds. We're talking about holographic regenerators. We're talking about medbeds for animals. Even your cats and dogs are going to be regenerated. Okay, we're talking about, so there are different types, you could say. According to this report, they're going to release 60 healing tech patents that are going to be available to the public. And again, these patents for a long time now have been hidden by governments and big pharma, right, for many, many years. Well, these healing tools were never fake, guys. They were just locked away so that people couldn't use them until now. Now, in a secret lab in Arizona, scientists noticed something strange, and that is that a patient kept healing even after the medbed was turned off. Okay, I'm going to share this as well with you guys. So this is something that was also released regarding how a patient kept healing even after the medbed was turned off. What does that tell you, guys? This is fascinating information, okay? Well, the guy's body started giving off a special frequency after using the medbed between 7.83 hertz, which of course, right, corresponds to the natural vibrational frequency of the planet. Remember the Schumann, right? And 22 hertz, okay? And that's the same energy as the Earth's natural rhythm that scientists call the Schumann resonance. Well, his own body was doing the healing now, okay? All we have to do is recalibrate our frequency to the natural heartbeat of the earth, the natural resonance field of the earth, and our bodies will always be in a state of constant regeneration. All right. That's the truth of the matter, guys. So this machine, the med bed, didn't just affect him, right? People around him started feeling better too, just because the frequency that he was generated was also recalibrating their frequency. All right. Um, there was reports of people feeling more energy when they were around this person, less pain for those that were having pain issues, and even faster healing for those that had cuts. Okay. So this is what they now call the healing wave, which is a kind of energy field that the body can actually create on its own. And now they've actually found out that I can't believe I'm going to say this, but you really don't need a med bed, guys. You could start healing now as long as you tune your frequency to the natural hertz of the earth, right? 7.83 hertz. So regular people, not just doctors, not scientists, are actually learning to trigger the healing wave factor at home. And how do they do that? Well, there's special breathing techniques. And again, for those that take my Ascension courses, I teach you these breathing techniques. They also they also do it through listening to specific frequencies, also through the activation of the pineal gland, which is your third eye, and of course, staying away from electronics and EMF signal waves, which are very bad for your body. That's what throws your body's natural frequency off, disaligning you from the Earth's natural vibration, causing you to develop illness. Well, when you really think about it, people all over the world, right, from veterans to off-grid families, they're actually been using bits of the NISES program, which is a method to start healing on their own by just adjusting their frequency. That's all it is, guys, with no machines required and no permission needed. Well, once your body learns it, the healing becomes automatic. Okay. So NECES, NECES, right, which is a technology that allows your brain frequencies to be restored to a proper resonance that allows the natural healing process of the body to take place. So here's the catch, okay? The med bits won't work unless your brain and body are ready. If your brain and body are not matching the frequency of the med bed, it's not going to work on you. So this is why they need to first undergo what is called a frequency adjustment through NECES, NECES, okay? So if you're still stuck in low energy patterns, for instance, like fear, anxiety, bad diets, screen overload for those that are just on their phone all day, right? Social media addicts, which is, of course, causing your frequency to drop. Did you guys know that if you spend 6 hours or more a day on your phone scrolling through reels, it's actually lowering your frequency? Anyways, so the med beds won't connect with your body properly. Okay, that's why the NECES exist. Okay, which is going to help your brain tune in to the right frequency. And the best part of this is that the first step of this NECES restorative frequency device can actually be done on your own. Believe it or not, guys, you don't need special gear or approval. Okay, now again, this is leaked from a report based on some of the things that the Y-Hats have been finding. So people across the US and Europe are already forming secret healing groups, and they're not waiting, they're activating. Well, Operation Lazarus, which again is strongly related to this, is now being, of course, part of the first line when they do roll out these healing modalities. So they call it Operation Lazarus. If you guys remember the story of Lazarus, right, who was resurrected from the dead by Jesus, right? Well, Jesus was actually tapping into the right frequency, and by raising the natural frequency of Lazarus, by tuning in into his frequency and raising it to a high vibration, he was able to resurrect Lazarus. Well, Trump's team just launched something called Operation Lazarus about 48 hours ago. And basically, it actually prioritizes people for medbed access based on their energy and brave wave signals. So the first ones to be in line are those that are going to be people that are not, you could say, entertaining thoughts or emotions of fear, you know, anxiety, negative thinking. Okay, so if you're already starting to vibrate at a high frequency due to your positive thinking, you're going to be first in line. Okay, you're going to be first in line, and otherwise the system is not going to be able to detect you. Okay, and that's why nieces is necessary for those that the system won't be able to detect. It's just going to correct your frequency so that the technology works on you. So that is why it is important to start breathing now, to start meditating and raising your own frequency. All right, that is very important, by the way. Speaking of my classes, my December courses, both ascension courses for beginners, intermediate, and advanced, are up for grab. And class begins the last day of November and it goes into December. 4 classes per course for only $100, guys. Go to my website, ourcosmicorigin.com. Okay, let's continue here. So the people who've been running things like the global elite have used the medical system to keep people apparently, not feeling good and dependent on things that don't really work, right? Um, I guess this is the part of the story that I have to just kind of skip, if you guys know what I mean. Big Pharma, right? Companies that roll out that, right? Starts with a P, ends with an R. Another one starts with an M, ends with an A. They're all falling apart because of this, okay? And right now, as I speak, including the WHO, the World Health, or know what I mean, has already canceled all major events because of this. The DARPA military research has also recently shut down the secret programs, okay? And even healing tech is finally going to be coming out into the open as a result of this. So apparently for many, many years, they try to stop this from happening. But now it's out of their control. Why? Because Trump just signed and they just launched what is known as Operation Lazarus. Operation Lazarus. And that is very good news, guys. So Trump is making sure that if you're ready for a med bed, you're going to be the first in line. Okay. So this is something that, of course, the mainstream media is not going to be telling anyone. We're not broadcasting it yet. So you won't hear it anywhere else, guys. But on my channel, of course, you will. So the system that apparently made everyone sick isn't going to teach you how to heal. Okay. And one of the techniques that I provide in my Ascension course basics is how to pretty much heal your own body. Okay. It's called the body scan meditation. And it's very effective. Okay. And this meditation works on the principles of understanding that your body, every tissue, every cell, every molecule, every gland, including your skeletal, your skin, is conscious and alive, every organ. Okay. Anyways, let's continue here. So, as Project Lazarus becomes implemented, the near future, isn't going to be about hospitals and pills anymore, okay? People aren't going to be popping those anymore, guys. It is going to be about real healing devices, okay? And it all starts with you by keeping your frequency high, okay? So what's really going on with the government shutdown has a lot to do with the idea of expanding the house cleansing to all 50 states. Okay. So regarding the real shutdown that happened now over a month ago, everyone's blaming different sides. Well, it's the Republicans that are shutting it down. No, it's the Democrats that are shutting it down. Well, there's a bigger picture that is unfolding, and it is not being talked about in the regular news. So according to Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, He actually went on Fox News recently and said that this wasn't just a budgeting mistake, right? This is what he said. It was done on purpose by the powerful people that are trying to stop something huge from happening. Well, of course it was done by them. According to Johnson and others that are close to Trump, a group of elite run Democrats are trying to block, of course, the QFS from happening. All right. They're also trying to block a few other secret military level systems that Trump has been rolling out from behind the scenes, such as Project Lazarus, which I just explained. And that includes, of course, not just the QFS, which is the new system backed by real gold, but also the EBS. Okay. This is the reason why they shut down the government. So, according to Speaker of the House Mike Johnson, and of course, they're also trying to shut it down because of the fact that the corrupt systems of the elites are about to be taken out. So basically, the elites that have been running the show are freaking out right now as I speak, okay? Because they're losing control, and they're losing control fast. Speaker of the House Johnson also said that the Democrats voted 14 times to keep the shutdown going. Not because they disagreed about money, which is what the false media narrative has been telling us, and not because of politics either, right? Because they were told to delay Trump's next moves of implementing the QFS, the EBS, and of course, the rolling out of the real healing modality. So, the longer, according to Johnson, he believes that the longer the government is shut down, the harder it's going to be for Trump and the new systems to be fully active, okay? And they're trying to stall the inevitable. Notice that I said the inevitable, right? It's still going to happen, guys. And there's nothing that the deep staters can do. Their time is up. So, the quantum financial system, as you guys know, is a super secure digital banking system that's supposed to be fair and transparent, and it's backed by gold, and of course, made up of money. Like, it's not made up of money like the way we've known the dollar, which is the fiat system. Okay, that's the main reason why the Democrats are pushing for this government shutdown, and have been. Okay, they voted for it. So, also, a 7-second encrypted audio file is being passed around as I speak. And when you play this file in a comm space, it actually syncs your personal energy with the quantum signature to your account. Okay, so this is regarding what is known as the QFS system that from behind the scenes apparently is already gone in full force. Okay, so that account is linked to a gold reserve connected to your birth record. And even though this sounds kind of wild, people are saying that this is how the stolen wealth, including all the gold that they found in Fort Knox, is going to be returning back to the people, right? Through the QFS account, through the QFS system. So Johnson said that the shutdown wasn't just about money, especially not healthcare spending, right? He expected something deeper. The health package included biometric tracking programs, which would be used to collect DNA data through migrant centers. And that was the goal of the deep state, by the way, to launch a global medical surveillance system using American infrastructure. And this is what the White Hats are dismantling as I speak, which is a good thing. And that's the reason, of course, that's one of the many reasons why they really didn't want Trump to stop this, right? Because under Project Lazarus, all of this would have been dismantled. So, now there was also a 1.5 trillion spending plan that apparently the deep state was trying to use, a bill that they were trying to pass that wasn't just about government programs. It actually included emergency cash for satellite spying on American people, money to tag and track migrants, and of course, hidden funds for, can't even say that word, a company that starts with, that rolled out that, starts with a P, new digital ID programs, okay, which was being merged with NATO's tech systems. Wow. All right. This is what the deep state was trying to roll out um, with a 1.5 trillion spending plan. And the White House totally counteracted it, which is a good thing. Trump saw all this happening, okay? And that's why he moved fast to stop it, okay? So Trump's response to this was military action, right? Trump actually gave direct orders through the Department of War on November 2nd, which was yesterday, that a drug smuggling boat in the Caribbean was actually taken out under the Trump command, which was a good thing. But the mission wasn't just about drugs. This is what they found. Are you ready? They found weird biovials. They also found satellite relay devices. They also found tech built to control people's minds through frequency manipulation. And this wasn't just a cartel ship, my friends. It was part of a global tech terror network. Well, this wasn't random, obviously, okay? It's a global strategy, and that's what it was. So Trump has already reworked Navy operations to act fast without needing old school intelligence agencies like the three-letter agency that starts with the C or the NSA, which were, of course, compromised back in 2020 due to the Brandon election that was taken, right, improperly, unconstitutionally. So instead, Trump's team is using what is known as quantum Starlink nodes. Okay, basically, they are super advanced, connected to organic sentient Prometheus linked satellites that give the White Hats real-time intelligence on what's happening right now globally. Okay, so that's why every strike so far has been exactly on target. Now, and the shutdown, of course, the government shutdown was a desperate move. Okay. The elites that were in control knew that Trump was planning next a complete shift in how money works. And he's already rerouting, you could say, that the entire Federal Reserve System to the quantum financial system. Okay. Which means no more hidden money transfers, no more fake debt slavery, and especially no more elite control over who gets rich. The Democrats were told by the elites groups in Europe, like the WEF, World Economic Forum, and of course the people behind Davos, to delay everything. Okay. Just long enough to block Trump from finishing the upgrade before the end of December 2025, which is in a month. Okay. But that's already too late, guys, because Trump is already working with countries like Brazil, India, and Poland. So these countries are actually backing anti-globalist plans, and they're syncing their own financial and military systems with Trump. And every boat strike is a warning. So we see what's happening here is that we're actually shutting down the entire globalist apparatus. That's what's happening right now, guys. Okay. So it means that the war isn't about politics anymore. It's actually happening right now through tech, through finance, and through the military. And for the very first time in a long time, someone's fighting back so hard for the people. And we all know who it is. Now, this next report was actually a leaked document coming from an anomalous source, subject 3i Atlas, confidential, clearance level 5. So apparently this wasn't supposed to circulate, but I'm going to share it with you guys, right? So according to this report, classified level 5, apparently NASA didn't want people to know about this. they believe, or they were able to capture that something which what we call Atlas has been moving through our solar system, and they know it's not a comet. It's a fact. It is not a comet. Okay, according to this report that I'm about to share, you guys are going to be very, very, very mind blown. Okay, so apparently, according to a mysterious transmission that wasn't supposed to leak again, that apparently quickly disappeared from the internet, but I was able to access it thanks to Commander Valiant Thor. The object formerly known as Comet 3I Atlas C 2025 Y4 is exhibiting signs of intelligent control. Okay, NASA knows now, and they had known for quite some time. Okay, that's why they completely shut down all their satellites and communication systems regarding Atlas. Well, this isn't just a theory that is circulating on the internet. Amateur astronomers have documented the object's unexplained course corrections. And even NASA appears to have taken notice. And that's why they went silent. Okay. The warning is clear that the DSN anomaly report, I guess that's what it's called, a redactive revelation from a level 5 clearance that wasn't supposed to leak. The source of this information appears to come from a leaked deep space network DSN anomaly report, referenced as transmission 411 C. Well, the full report is no longer accessible. So fragments of its contents are being circulated by whistleblowers and people like myself. So 17 days until first major orbital deviation takes place, according to this report. This suggests that the object, Atlas, is not only accelerating, but doing so under non gravitational forces. In other words, it's not only drifting due to solar wind or natural decay, something or someone is actually guiding it. Okay, so apparently it's intelligently directed, right? It's being intelligently directed. So this is coming from real NASA guys. Okay, this is a leaked report. Um, One of the most compelling pieces of evidence is the documented maneuver, which is a sudden course correction that was captured during a NASA live stream. And this is the reason why they shut down, which was promptly scrubbed from public archives, of course, stating that natural comets follow predictable gravitational paths. And this one didn't. Okay. It kept changing direction. So, according to multiple independent astronomers, this object has done just that, changed its direction multiple times. The movement defines Newtonian physics and standard orbital mechanics. So, the leaked analysis describes acceleration patterns inconsistent with cometary behavior and spectral anomalies, pointing to a highly reflective composite surface unlike any natural object ever recorded. So, in short, it's not a comet. Okay. And NASA has known that for over 2 months now, a little over a month and a half to be exact. So, initial surface scans, as described in the report, suggest a material with unusually high reflectivity, perhaps metallic or even engineered. Spectral analysis points to chemical compounds not typically found in known space rocks or ice bodies. Combined with the object's course corrections, this raises a disturbing possibility that this may be an artificial object, a probe, a vessel, or even an advanced surveillance device that entered our solar system. So, according to the anonymous source, this information has been intentionally contained by higher authorities, and therefore the public cannot know, they said, of course, perhaps because the arrival of an intelligently controlled object could shatter existing scientific paradigms, and it already started to, religious beliefs, and geopolitical balances. Well, NASA often um, accused of quiet censorship, appears to have erased two live feeds in a single week regarding what they observed. Okay. Both capturing the object's erratic behavior. Attempts to retrieve the footage through archival databases have been met, thank God, with errors or missing data. Meanwhile, amateur astronomers worldwide are trying to document the object's movement, triangulating its course based on what little data is still available. Well, the countdown to contact has begun, according to the report. My God, that is awesome. Well, according to this report, we could be about 17 days away of a major orbital deviation, possibly a close approach or maneuver near the Earth's orbit. Interesting. I thought it was going to be by the 19th of December. Well, this timeline, if real, suggests that the object is preparing for some kind of event, observations, contact, or entry. Whether this is a reconnaissance craft, an autonomous drone, or something entirely beyond our understanding, according to this report, one fact remains that natural space objects do not accelerate. They don't change direction or display engineered surfaces. Well, whatever this is, it is challenging every assumption that we have about who or what is watching our planet. Okay. So, according to this leaked document, the mysterious object that they refer to as Comet Atlas, and I hate using the word comet in front of it because we know it's not a comet, right? May be something far more advanced and far more significant than we were told. With mainstream sources going silent and data disappearing, it falls to independent researchers and truth seekers to keep watching. Okay. So they're asking everybody, all the independent astronomers and the small group of scientists that are rebelling against the mainstream, to document everything between now and December 19th. Okay. So this, my friends, ties in to another report that recently resurfaced and was apparently also disclosed by the New York Times. That's kind of interesting because I always used to think that the New York Times was another controlled propaganda tool of the deep state. Well, this is a sign that we are on a positive timeline trajectory that is heading towards disclosure. According to another recent document from the New York Times, a search report from both civilian UFO trackers and military monitoring systems have revealed something extraordinary. Thousands of unidentified submersible objects, or what they call USOs, have been moving with intelligence beneath the oceans that border the United States. What? Chinese drones? No, they're not Chinese. They're not from the Chinese. They're underwater drones or submersible objects. Well, according to this report, they're actually coming from 3i Atlas. So these mysterious craft, often detected on radar and sonar, are apparently going at impossible speeds. They're appearing to defy our known understanding of physics and marine engineering. So researchers are beginning to suspect that the greatest mysteries of the UFO phenomena may not lie in the skies above, but deep within the uncharted depths of the oceans. So certain civilian UFO tracker networks, groups that analyze public available satellite, radar, and maritime data, have documented countless unexplained contacts along the Pacific and Atlantic coast. Well, these contacts, sometimes traveling hundreds of miles per hour underwater, are known as fast movers. Well, naval personnel have quietly acknowledged similar detections, describing objects that could actually transition seamlessly between air and sea without leaving turbulence or heat signatures. The cluster of these anomalies seem to follow certain patterns, many found near tectonic fault lines, underseas mountain ranges, and regions known for unusual electromagnetic activity. So these hotspots correspond strikingly with apparently decades of UFO sightings above the same areas, suggesting a possible connection between what we see in the sky and what is moving beneath the oceans. So, as a result of this report, my friends, scientists are beginning to think outside of the box and have proposed the portal hypothesis. Okay. Well, among the more fascinating evidences gaining attention right now within the UFO research community is the portal hypothesis. According to this idea, our oceans contain energetic gateways or wormholes, natural or artificial openings that link different regions of space or dimensions. Physicists studying quantum field anomalies note that the high energy magnetic zones within the Earth's crust could theoretically allow for momentary momentary distortions in time and space. If advanced civilizations possess technology capable of stabilizing, that's the right way of pronouncing it, stabilizing these portals, it might explain how some UFO appear and vanish instantly to travel at impossible distances. Under this hypothesis, the undersea portals act as concealed entrances strategically hidden beneath miles of water to avoid detection. This would also explain why so many reports of USOs originate from deep sea trenches, such as Puerto Rico Trench, the Catalina Basin off of California, and the Gulf of Mexico. Well, naval pilots and sonar operators have long reported encounters with uh, transmedium craft, which means that they could operate both in air and in water. Vehicles capable of moving effortlessly between water and air. Okay. The 2004 USS Nimitz incident, for example, described a tic tac shaped object descending from 80,000 feet to sea level in less than a second before disappearing into the ocean. Some analysts believe that this may indicate the use of undersea portals where the craft vanishes through an entry point not visible to conventional sensors. Fishermen and private boaters have also shared accounts of glowing spheres plunging into the oceans without splash, or columns of light emerging silently from the water. Well, these experiences are being revisited once again right now by researchers with new technology tools, including global sonar mapping and satellite based oceanic anomaly tracking. If this portal theory holds true, and it is believed that scientists are concluding to that, right? They're going into that direction. That means that the Earth's oceans are part of a vast interconnected network linking planets or dimensions through vibrational gateways. That is fascinating. Okay. According to this newly released data, this newly released document, these portals might be ancient and natural, or they're deliberately placed by intelligent visitors who use them as refueling or research stations. Okay. This suggests that humanity is not merely being observed from afar, but coexisting with a hidden infrastructure beneath the ocean, one that has operated undetected for thousands of years. Okay. So let's just assume, what if all of a sudden these thousands of crafts that have been observed, right, on each side of the coast, Pacific and Atlantic, and other parts of the world, not just here in the States, what if they are those thousands of smaller crafts that were detected around Three Eye Atlas about a week ago? And they're just coming into our planet via the portals. Think about that, guys. About a week ago, right? All of a sudden, independent astronomers were reporting that there was like thousands and thousands of small craft that were right around Three Eye Atlas. Well, what if they're just coming in through the portals? Well, with this new and sudden speculation leading to the idea of the portal entry points, is actually shaking the foundations of science as I speak, my friends. Okay. And this is why I believe that this is all leading to a great disclosure. very, very soon. And apparently, this is a powerful movement that is very well underway, all right? One that stretches far beyond the earth into the stars. Now, there's more information regarding Congresswoman Anna Paulina Luna. So, as the public, of course, demands answers about the UFO phenomena, there's a convergence taking place that is happening on two fronts right now. One of them is that in the halls of the US Congress and in the growing number of scientists breaking away from traditional institutions to speak the truth, at the center of this political effort stands Representative Anna Paulina Luna, who, according to insiders, is actually, are you guys ready for this? Is actually pushing the disclosure movement more than anyone else right now. And she's not acting alone, okay? It is believed, according to insiders and confirmed by Commander Valiant Thor, that that Anna Paulina Luna is somewhat in indirect communication with elements of Space Force who are in turn coordinating this disclosure um, by the Galactic Alliance, okay, with the help of the Galactic Alliance. So there is a coalition, apparently, of non terrestrials beings that are committed to assisting humanity during the time of awakening. And that's why I believe that Anna Paulina Luna has been chosen by Space Force in collaboration with the Galactic Alliance to put fire, right? To put fire regarding these congressional hearings so that we could have a full disclosure and not wait 50 years from now or 100 years from now. So, together with this alliance taking place right now, alliances involving the many star nations, right, that are probably now coming in through the oceans, through the portals, and brave truth seekers on Earth, like Anna Paulina Luna, who is on it, right, are accelerating pressure on government to finally release everything that they know about extraterrestrial life, advanced technologies, and interdimensional contact, guys. So, since entering Congress, Anna Paulina Luna has actually positioned herself as a fierce advocate for government transparency, especially regarding the unidentified aerial phenomena, the UAPs. May I please get some water, hun? Thank you. Her sharp questioning during a UFO hearing and support for declassification laws have earned her a unique reputation, not only as a representative of the people, but as a conduit for a deeper cosmic level information. Well, behind closed doors, insiders believe that she is apparently been briefed by whistleblowers, right, through Space Force, connected to crash retrieval programs and advanced propulsion research, programs that were hidden deep within the military industrial complex. But what sets Luna apart is that she actually is refusing to remain silent, okay? She has demanded full congressional access to these secret programs and has called for public hearings to ensure that the information is no longer buried, which is awesome. Okay. Her actions, along with what many believe to be a coordinated effort with the Galactic Alliance, and according to Commander Thor, it is being coordinated with the Galactic Alliance, uh, who are said, of course, to be guiding certain individuals within the White Hat community and the Earth's power structure towards full disclosure. Okay. Luna, spiritual openness and commitment to truth is making her an ideal channel for this information to flow into the public domain. So while Anna Paulina Luna is leading the charge in government right now as I speak, there is also a wave of scientists, as mentioned earlier, and researchers that are also breaking away from the mainstream academia to speak out about what's been suppressed for a decade or more, several decades to be exact. And these individuals that were once silenced, my friends, right? A lot of them lost their jobs, they lost their credentials by these institutionals, corrupt institutions. I guess the gatekeepers of the corrupt institutions, are now publishing independent studies of non human intelligence, advanced energy systems, and extraterrestrial biology. So, from former NASA engineers, and that includes, of course, Richard Hoagland, okay, to theoretical physicists, more and more scientists are risking their reputation to confirm what the public has long suspected, that we are not alone in the universe and that we have been in contact within the private sector for over 80 years. Well, some have actually revealed data on exotic materials recovered from crash sites, and others have analyzed these UAP flight characteristics and concluded that they operate using principles unknown to modern physics. Okay? And these are principles that are what? Involving zero point energy, gravitic manipulation, anti gravity propulsion systems, right? So their findings are mirroring descriptions that are given by ancient texts and experiencers of contact with the star beings, many of course, who are affiliated with the Galactic Alliance. So this apparently parallels what's happening right now with 3i Atlas, all of those objects and anomalies that were detected all around the oceans, and of course with what's happening right now with Anna Paulina Luna. Okay, the old system of secrecy is finally crumbling, guys, which is a good thing. So now, as the Earth approaches a critical stage in its spiritual and technological development, the Alliance is said to be stepping in more and more visibly, but very indirectly. Still, we're talking about the Galactic Alliance here. And then rather than making mass landings, which they're not going to do, they're going to do it through the star seeds and through Anna Paulina Luna and through the independent scientists that are right now causing a revolution. Thank God. Okay, that's how it's all going to boil down. They're not just going to land, guys. They're doing it from the inside out, which is a good thing. Okay, the goal here is to disclose everything that has been hidden from humanity in full force. Okay, and so their message is now consistent, guys, that humanity must learn the truth. Okay, they must face it without fear and evolved into a galactic civilization based on peace, unity, and higher consciousness. So, what was once dismissed as fantasy or, what they called a science fiction is now becoming mainstream conversation because of what's happening right now. Okay. Between the political leadership of Anna Paulina Luna, the defiant courage of these independent scientists and astronomers that are rebelling against NASA, and the subtle guidance of the Galactic Alliance, guys, we are standing at the edge of a massive paradigm shift, okay? Which means that disclosure is no longer a question of when or if, rather, but when, all right? It's no longer a question of if, but when. And as that moment approaches, the public must be ready, not just to accept the existence of extraterrestrial life, but to recognize that we are part of a much greater cosmic community. And that's why I wrote my book, Our Cosmic Origin, right? Restoring galactic history and the truth about our cosmic origin back to the earth. Well, the truth has been kept from us for a very long time. Okay. And we all agree on that. Well, now with the cosmic help that is coming, right? And the earthly rebellion that is taking place from within, it is time to bring the truth into the light. Okay. Into the light. This is exciting, guys. This is exciting. I do want to welcome all my new subscribers out there. Thank you guys so much for being here. And for all my new subscribers, I am the author of The Secret Government, The Invisible Architects, of the shadow government, and of course, our cosmic origin, both which are available on Amazon. Okay. So those books will help you understand a lot of my reports and transmissions. Um, I'm excited. I don't know about you guys, but I am excited because we are living in the best time ever to be living in the history of our world. And I do see a super chat already. Thank you guys so much. As a reminder, guys, my workshop is coming up on the 22nd of November here in Sedona, Arizona at the Cielo Connection. All right. I will be providing the address. For those that make it in person, you could actually pay at the door. It's only $80. It's going to be from 1 to 4. I'm going to be giving a thorough presentation of our cosmic origin 2.0. More galactic intel and history will be revealed there. And for those that can't make it in person, of course, there is the streaming. Go to my website, ourcosmicorigin.com, and access the streaming. I only have apparently only 6 spots left for the streaming. So I could only hold 100 people on the Zoom, unfortunately. All right, guys, with that have said, I think I'm going to take Q&A at this time. I do want to welcome all 2,900 people that are in the house. Thank you guys so much for being here. I see Baby Blue Notes, Wolf Mother, Greg is in the house. Melissa Harper, I'm sorry, is in the house. Lee Starr is in the house. Jose Mendez is in the house. Sarah is in the house. Caroline is in the house. William Hine is in the house. Project Skyfalls. And all 2,900 people that are in the house. This is great. I really appreciate all of you guys. As you guys know, it takes hours to prepare before I present, which makes, time goes by fast when I'm presenting, but it took me how long? A little over 4 hours today, honey, to prepare.
Yes, and also your hype button.
Yeah, and sometimes it takes me 6 hours to prepare for a presentation. So thank you guys so much for being here. And a really quick heads up. The hype function is already available. So at the end of this presentation or at the end of this live, make sure you guys hype my video so that I could reach more people and grow my channel. Okay, that would be greatly appreciated if you guys could help me do so. It's free. Also, don't forget, guys, that Folium is very hot right now. A lot of people are using this stuff to clean their bodies, not only from metals, parasites, radiation, toxins, all of that stuff, so that your body could be super adaptive to the new frequencies of the new earth. And the link is always in the description. I do see Starcadian in the house. Big shout out to Starcadian. Thank you so much for being here, brother, and for keeping the chat in a high vibe. I appreciate that. So now I'm going to go ahead and take some Q&A. If you guys could please type your questions in capital letters, that would be greatly appreciated. I will begin with the super chats. Thank you so much, Susan K, for your donation. Thank you, sister. I really appreciate that. All right, so I'm going to start with the super chats, and then I'm just going to read or take random questions. Thank you for the water, hon. Mm-hmm. I was getting thirsty. All right, the first super chat is coming from Nathan Taylor. He says, will we be able to time travel in the 5D with a spaceship? Well, what if I tell you that the craft that you're going to be utilizing in the 5D is going to be an extension of your light body? Yeah, the light body is the vehicle that we use to navigate the different realms, the different densities, and the different star systems. So that is one of the key elements that distinguishes spiritually advanced civilizations that do not depend on external technology, right? They use organic biocrafts, which is an extension of their light body, as they fuse with the elements and crystals of the planet. So you're going to be able to not only travel to other dimensions, but even time travel is going to be a high possibility. As long as you activate the light body, yes, you're going to be able to time travel but only to observe, not to affect timelines, just to observe. It's like you're going to be able to take your consciousness to different coordinates within the time space continuum. All right, I do have another question from Nathan. Oh, two questions from Nathan. Okay. Are Zenzo beans real from Dragon Ball Z? I'm not sure about that. I think that Dragon Ball Z, even though it's based on a lot of metaphysical knowledge and cosmology, I mean, they do describe the 12 universes. But as far as the senso bean is concerned, which totally regenerates you, in the form of a med bed, yeah, right? In the form of the med bed, or in the form of what? Tuning your frequency to the natural Schumann resonance of the planet, which causes your health, your regeneration to take place. Then in that regard, yes, it does work. But as far as like taking a bean that's going to regenerate you and cure you from all ailments, I don't think so. Again, if you're just jumping on, make sure you guys watch this from the beginning. A lot of new intel was shared today that you guys will be appreciating. All right, next question. Sky said that Trump wanted the med beds released to the public this week. You must be talking about what's her name? Sky Prince. Yeah, you must be talking about Sky Prince. That could have been the case, guys. Again, watch this from the beginning. Part of the government shutdown, which was initiated by the deep state, was to prevent all of this from taking place. The QFS, the med beds, you name it. Thank you so much, Patty Birchwell, for your super chat. If your pet passed recently, will we be able to see them in the new earth? I believe so, yes. I believe that all animals go to heaven, fifth dimensional earth reality. So, yes, absolutely. And she says, thank you for all you do. Oh, you are so welcome, sister. You are so welcome. All right. Galactic Jedi and Patriot Roy Toys Comics is saying that there is supposed to be a live stream of MedBet session sometime in late November. Cool. I hope that's the case because, again, under Project Lazarus, right? If you guys watch this report, they are scheduled to be rolled out very, very soon. I also see another super chat from Galactic Jedi, Michelle. Thank you so much for being here, Michelle. She says, I had a very profound meeting with my Pleiadian family. They called my role mandatory and viable love and workforce for the mirrored 5D Earth. What are your thoughts on the timeline and that role? Well, according to my presentation and how on the positive timeline trajectory, it seems like everything's being pushed towards a full disclosure. It seems like the shift into the new Earth is inevitable, and I think that you were being um, ad- warned, not warned, but what's the word I'm looking for? You were being told what was going to happen before it happens. So it seems like you were just kind of, in this meeting that you had with your Pleiadian family, they were just letting you know, hey, prepare to activate and step into your power. That's what it seems like. So, and after all, when you think about it, Michelle, we star seeds are the ones that are creating the new earth, right? If it wasn't for us coming here and volunteering, we would have never, uh, you could say, we would have never been um, developing the grid system that is going to physically hold the structure of the new earth. Thank you so much, Starcadian, for posting the Folium link for those that are interested in detoxing your body. Yeah, it seems like you, Michelle, like you were given an opportunity to have a glimpse of the new Earth. That is absolutely true. I do have another super chat from Nathan Taylor. Once again, he says, um, "You said there were three flashes. Will we heal three times?" Well, how this works is each flash is going to allow for a new group of people to enter into the new Earth. Okay, the final flash is for the normies that are at least good people, that are just generally good people, and they will be at least going to the fourth D Earth. So the first flash and the second flash is for the fifth D Earth. That's for the old souls. That's you guys. And then the third flash is for the younger souls. Thank you so much, Jacob Shear, for the super chat. He says, "I appreciate you. Please email me." I don't have your email, Jacob. Give me yours. You could reach me at my email, Project Restoration Zion. This is my primary email, not my public email. Project Restoration Zion at gmail.com. Oh, hello, kitty. I see one of the kitties over there. All right. So many good questions. I don't even know where to start. I wish sometimes I could just like answer 5 questions at a time. Um, let's see. I feel like I am not from this planet, says Zero. Well, a lot of us aren't. That's why we feel different. Do you think that the sunspots and flares from the sun is changing our frequency? Yeah, absolutely. Big time. Oh, yeah, absolutely. What is space travel? Says Lucinda Bonilla. Lucinda Bonilla. Space travel. Well, for the most part, civilizations that use external technology, like underdeveloped spiritual civilizations that are just technologically advanced, they travel from star system to star system. Or if they are a type level 2 civilization, they travel using the portal technology, or they open up a Stargate, they plug in the planet's Stargate code, and they go from system to system within a second. So that's what space travel is for those who are using external technology. But if you're using the internal technology, which is a light body, then you're able to do the same thing without depending on external technology. And then the second part of your question is it not when you leave your body, such as sleep or meditation? That's if you use a natural technology. Or is it when you leave the waters below the firmament and enter the waters above, as described in the Bible? Well, the firmament, that was once a thick moisture of water that used to protect our stratosphere from harmful cosmic radiations, was actually destroyed during the Pyramidal Wars back about 10,000 years ago. Um, what what exists there right now? It's not a fishbowl like the flat earthers believe. It is known as the Van Allen belts. Okay, and yes, we could actually get past them. There is no solid ceiling, right? The Earth isn't flat, unfortunately. That was a CIA psyops that was designed to debunk the secret space program. So many good questions here. And again, I welcome all flat earthers and people who still believe that we live in a fish bowl. It's okay, when the truth comes out. Okay, think about it. If we lived in a fish bowl and there was no stars and there were no galaxies and we were just it, then how do you explain Three Eye Atlas? All right, let's continue here. fellow Lyran, much love. We will meet soon. And yes, indeed, we will. All of us will meet soon. I believe that after the Flash and when we are all settled in the 5D Earth, we're all going to be working together. That's awesome. Thank you so much for that. That means that means a lot to me, brother. Thank you. Thank you. Any updates on the RV or GCR? Well, if you watch this from the beginning, I gave an update. So it's still, you could say, part of the positive timeline trajectory. And yes, my friends, we are still on a positive timeline trajectory. Who's saying that the appointments could start Monday or Tuesday? Huh? Okay. GCR. Okay. Is this coming from Paul White Eagle? No. Okay. All right. This is an interesting question from music. Music be music be Bemp. Thank you so much for being here. She says, "What about all our cosmic children versus human children? You must be referring to being a surrogate for certain extraterrestrial projects and genetic programs, so where they took your egg and they inseminated with ET semen to create a hybrid, right? When we go into the 5D Earth, your hybrid children are going to be given back to you. But right now, your hybrid children um, are actually operating on motherships. So yeah, as you also undergo ascension, you will be reintegrating with your galactic avatar, which is probably already nurturing your hybrid extraterrestrial children. To answer your question, no, I don't live in Phoenix. I actually live in Sedona. Phoenix is way too hot for us. Any info on Omicron Commonwealth Military Corp? Um, I had a chance to ask Commander Valiant Thor about them, and he's telling me that they are an off-world program that was working with the Galactic Federation of Worlds, and I guess some of their agents are or have been planted here on the Earth. But no, they're part of a league of star nations that pretty much represent what is known as the Omicron solar system. But again, I could go much deeper into that, perhaps in another live when I give another galactic or interstellar update. But yeah, that's the Omicron Commonwealth Military Corp. And what I'm trying to figure out is, why do they call it Omicron? I know that there is a star nation called Omicron Star System, which is in Orion, but the Omicrons, the original Omicrons, were actually also cybernetic Draco that were actually more powerful than the current reptilians that were working with the AI god in the infiltration of many different universes. So I'm going to have to go deeper into that. So many wonderful questions. You guys are great. Yeah, not to mention the Omicron virus that the WHO was trying to unleash, what, a couple, 3 years ago? If you guys remember the Omicron virus, which again was prevented by the Y hats, thank God. You know how many times the Y hats countermeasured every attempt that the WHO and the globalists were trying to do when it came to a new V, if you guys know what I mean, the releasing of a new V, which would cause another lockdown. I mean, For those that are doubting the operations of the Earth Alliance, guys, if it wasn't for the Earth Alliance, we would have all been hooked to the Borg by now, if you guys know what I mean. So, it's part of the polarity in the 3D. You have the forces of darkness, you have the forces of light, right? But luckily, in the end, because God is in control, the light always wins. Is it possible that Archangel Michael is someone's higher self? Yeah, very true.
Please explain.
Yeah, all right. Well, there are 12 archetypes that are down here operating different avatars. That's how powerful they are, right? So when the ascension takes place, all these souls in different bodies that are representing the 12 archetypes are going to collapse into one overall being. So out of all the advanced souls, right, these are beings that volunteered from dimension 12. Okay. So, yeah, some of you guys are soul extensions, and your higher self is, or let's just say your over self or your monadic self is Michael the Archangel. Absolutely. So the entire host of heaven have incarnated, in other words, okay, from different levels of reality. Good question. Is there a planet called Biru? Biru. I am not sure. I'm gonna have to look into that. I mean, guys, we're talking about billions of planets just within the Milky Way, right? And apparently, the Milky Way has billions of solar systems. And then there's also billions of galaxies, and then there's also multiple universes. So our universe is quite vast. Okay, our cosmos rather is quite vast. Do you know about the underground crystal city in Sedona? Absolutely. That is one of the reasons why I moved out here. Yeah, and there's also a intergalactic airport that is part of the underground crystal city here in Sedona, where ships come to and from. I mean, I see them all the time out there. How many times a night do we see ships? Every night. How there's always something little.
Like 2 to 6.
2 to 3 ships a night,
2
right?
to 6 craft.
How long does it take to name every planet in the universe? Well, we're talking about trillions of planets in our universe, not to mention the other universes. So you'd probably be counting for eternity. Good question. No, we're not in universe 7. We're in the 7th super universe, and our local universe, which is the universe number 84, exists within the 7th super universe. If you guys want to really know more about this cosmic stuff, where I break down the cosmic infrastructure, my course, Our Cosmic Origin, is mind bending. All right. It's 4 courses or 4 classes, 4 consecutive weekends. Go to my website for only $100, guys. You guys get all 4 classes. Go to my website so you guys could sign up for the December courses. Those are up. And of course, my website is ourcosmicorigin.com.
Do you know anything current about JFK Jr.?
What about JFK Jr.?
Do you know anything current about him?
Anything current about JFK Jr.? No, not yet.
I think he's just in hiding. So.
Well, the real JFK Jr. has to be in hiding. Absolutely. Okay, let's see. I'll take about one more question. We are almost at an hour and 36 minutes. Let's see. What question will I take? One more question. Is it true that in order to have age regression in medbeds, we have to have a high frequency? Yeah. In fact, talked about that in my report today. So make sure you guys watch this from the beginning. Yes, Prime, which is located at the center of our galaxy, orbiting the star system of Sagittarius A, is definitely where Three Eye Atlas came from, which dates to about 7 billion to 8 billion years ago.
Just tell them to prepare for 10 days of communication darkness blackouts in case. Just to prepare.
Yeah, and as a reminder, guys, it's always best to be prepared in case we do have an EBS 10 days of darkness lockdown. So make sure you guys have water and food supply because this could happen any moment now, especially with that government shutdown. Another super chat from Deborah. Deborah, uh, is it Nodelman? She says, if we ascend, then our RV funds in the Sarah will not be meaningful. Is that correct? That's only if you go to the 5D and above. If you go to the fourth D Earth, then that's where your RV funds will be meaningful. Very good question, though, sister. All right, guys. I hope you guys have a beautiful